everyone, how you doing? Welcome to Flourish by Design TV for my Tuesday chat as promised on my feminine leadership training. So lovely to have you all here again, and I hope you've had a wonderful week. And just a warm welcome, a Céad Míle Fáilte, which means 100,000 welcomes to you in Gaelic, and just hope you had a wonderful week. And it's a bank holiday weekend here in Ireland. Was yesterday, and we've got Samhain coming up on Thursday, our Halloween celebration. So I hope you're having a bit of fun. There's great crack around the city at the moment. Lots of things happening. So wishing you well in this change of season, and the time change has happened as well. So we've gone into the darker time. So it's a little bit more spooky, but we're going to get used to it. And yeah, it's a great time for studying. And I've been busy studying away. And I thought to myself, that's why there's so many scholars from Ireland, because there's not much else you can do in the dark evenings. So yeah, I haven't been seeing too much light of day because of that. But yeah, it's wonderful having the opportunity to deepen my knowledge of areas that I'm really interested in. And that actually inspired me to talk about this topic tonight, actually, because as people might know, I'm studying the Master in the Arts of Training, Education and Development. And part of that, it's not just, education in third level, but it's looking at society and looking at to see where we're going as society. And what I'm really interested in is social design and how we can design a conscious culture. And part of that is future proofing where we're going, And what's really astounding that all of us are living through at the moment is this fourth revolution, that we're actually living through a revolution equal to the Industrial Revolution at the moment. And it's a technological revolution because of artificial intelligence entering into our lives. And how are we affected by that? And what's the future going to look like? And as I always say, the future is always created in this present moment. So we have a choice in how we shape that. So it's been an amazing time for me to deepen my understanding of education and development and training for people going forward. And the latest module that I'm working on, last couple of ones, is strategic development and learning. So it's looking at to see where are the areas, the skills gap in the economy, in society. So at the moment, there is a huge gap in skills set because of AI and the fact that a lot of jobs that were managed by people can now be done automatically through AI. And there's advantages and disadvantages to that, because there's a whole, thousands of people, millions that will be around the world that won't have the same type of employment. And how will that affect the world economy? How will that affect families? What I'm really interested in is the family unit. So it's a very anxious time for a lot of people. It can cause a lot of overwhelm to think about the fact that maybe can we catch up with this? And how can we combat this? And can we embrace AI and all of those challenges that come with it and the opportunities that come with it, So what I was really feeling into this last week and reading some really amazing papers as well, and finding out what were the areas of growth. We know there's areas that are going to decline, but what I can see is some amazing opportunities for new positions and new fabulous transformational positions that can come into the world that were never here before, And I think that's what's going to happen if we can look at it like that. So then I was thinking of the fact that it's a new shift. What really we need in this time is a shift in our mindset, going from this state of fear and rejection of the present moment to an acceptance of it, first and foremost, of what we're living through, which is really, you know, it's amazing to be witnessing it and to be part of it, and to be on the cusp of completely different experience of living as a human on planet Earth, you know, because it is going to change, you know, completely in the next, very short space of time. But if we can embrace that and if we can look at that through eyes of wonder, it's amazing the possibilities that are there for us in this present moment. And that's why I wanted to speak about that tonight. How can we actually live from a state of wonder, moving from a state of fear to a state of wonder? And I find it fascinating to navigate that myself personally, because all of us, we go through that. We go through wondering, in a way that can be anxious, building in our system about, how we want to adapt and how things can be. And then to shift ourselves into a state of wonder and possibility, to really start to imagine, what if this can work for us and it can be a benefit to us? And, bracing it for myself recently and seeing its limitations as well. So, teaching with the students in the college, where some of it is incorporated into applications, and I can see the benefit of it, but also I can see there's a limitation that human beings have, that AI and computers actually cannot replicate, And I was thinking about this state of curiosity and this state of wonder, and looking at the fact that when we really value our life, when we're in a state of really valuing this present moment, and we become super aware of everything that happens in our perception, that we can really tap into a different type of intelligence, not AI, but the inspiration that comes from our awareness that is very particular to us. It's designed specifically for each one of us, Might sound like a little unusual to think about that, but years ago I had, I suppose 10 years I'm on this journey of understanding life in a deeper way. And I used to find, this question about what's the point of it all? Not in a really depressive way, but maybe in a way that was very curious in with my design mind, thinking everything is designed with a purpose, in the world. And what is this bigger purpose for the whole of reality? I seem to be the only one who was sitting there questioning like the elephant in the room, which was, what is this all about? And as I went internally and questioned and read and deepened my understanding of I suppose different cultures, my own culture and my own inner world, realizing that spirituality, realizing that every single moment is so precious, it's so valuable that it's like gold, and I call it each golden moment. So each golden moment, when we look at it with our eyes wide open, and we can really train ourselves to see what's right in front of our eyes and to see it as a teaching us something about our life and our path that guides us, that guides us on our path. And that is a huge security that we have within ourselves when we can tap into that and live from that state of wonder. It's an inner state that when we know life, especially when it's changing and transforming as it is at the moment, makes us feel insecure. But the security, the true security, is within our heart, within ourselves, within our psyche, and within our relationship with life itself. So we have a positive relationship with life itself, with reality, knowing that it is always giving to us, giving us exactly what we need. Then we can really tap into our guidance and the steps that we need to take. So when it comes to AI and all the changes in are happening in the world, that is can be a support and a tool for us on our journey through life. And it is giving us more time and some more freedom to be able to maybe wonder a little bit more and to give us that those little nuggets of inspiration that can really move us forward. And I often use it not just in that way for inspiration, but also when we're going through something difficult. You know, how can we look with through eyes of wonder at difficulty difficulties? And even with AI, we can look at that, and it is a it can be seen as a difficult challenge that we don't want happening, and we can't accept it, and we don't want that change that to happen. We wonder what's possible for humanity with that. And if we use it as a tool, it's fantastic to think of how it can help in so many areas. So when we take our perception of wonder into the areas that we find most difficult, then so much more can be unfolded because we can't live in a state of fear at the same time as being in a state of wonder. And for example, at the weekend, I did a little live about went in to watch go to a play with a friend of mine at the weekend, and it was a really moving play, and it was in the inner city in a part of Dublin that I'm not familiar with too much. I mean, I've been a few times and passed through, but it's a very unloved area of the city, and I had parked my car in the car park around that area and didn't realize it was actually closing earlier than most. It was 10 o'clock at night, so it was boarded up when I went to drive home. And it actually meant that the next morning I had to walk back into the city. And it was amazing what happened. So many beautiful experiences of feeling inspired by that area because I saw so much potential, for the people that live there, for the area that lives there. And I always love to color everything beautiful. And I just thought to myself, this area needs so much love. It needs so much an injection of that wonder, and possibility. And I thought to myself, it was telling me so much. It was teaching me so much. And if I hadn't had that sense of wonder about why is this happening? Why is the car locked into the car park? I don't look at it as just like one thing, oh, it just happened and it shouldn't have happened. I thought, wow, that's very curious. Why is that happening? Why is that happening to me here at this point in time? Why was I invited to this area by a friend with a free ticket that came from nowhere out of the blue? And all of a sudden, I walked in and I could see this potential in this area that I was so inspired by and had such a profound connection with. And it was right in under my nose, and I had never really spent time looking and really profoundly seeing what was there. And I just thought, that's it. That's that sense of wonder. Can we open our eyes and can we look with clear vision at what's right in front of our eyes that might be teaching us something about our purpose and why we're here? Moves us away from that sense of fear and that state of fear into that state of wonder where your particular purpose in life can be unfolded right in front of your eyes when you're open to that. And that's exactly it. Like the rose, when we open ourselves to life, life comes to us naturally. Like the bees and the flowers, when we open ourselves up, then they just naturally by nature fly in. There's nothing that you're doing. You're just being yourself and you're opening yourself up to receiving what life wants to give you. and receiving that so joyfully, because that's the harmony of life, you know, and that we are far more than AI. AI is a tool, it's an advancement in technology, but human beings are divinely designed. We have much higher potential than AI. And I think that's so exciting that maybe we might eventually realize who we are and the truth of who we are, that we are beyond machines. There's something in us that is connected to the whole universe that can be born through us. And that connection and that relationship is always there. It's just how we open ourselves up to that, to receive that, and how much can be come right through us from that, you know? And it's that beautiful feeling then of knowing that you're on purpose and you're finding your mission and where you're meant to be and where you're being sent, where that your skills and talents can serve the whole at that particular time in your life, you know? Because we're always evolving. Who I am now is different to who I was 5 years ago, to different to who I was 10 years ago. I have different experiences. I have different, realizations. I have different capacity now, far more, at this stage of my life than I ever have had. There's so much more value in me that and in you than as we age, that it's richer that we get. We deepen ourselves and deepen our understanding, our meaning of life deepens, and we have far more to offer. And then we're given more. It's like life gives us more responsibility as we move into new eras in our life, becomes more exciting, and not to be scared of change. And change can be very unsettling for us when we've lived in a routine life and we haven't had the opportunities to move around and have that flexibility in our mindset. But I would love you to trust and just to have a sense of wonder during these times, that when we can be present and when we can train ourselves to listen to people when they're speaking as well, it's that opening our ears to listen and hear what other people might say to us, that might be guiding us or giving some inspiration, some advice, or some ideas, or something that you can collaborate with. When we're not in a state of fear, we can receive messages that we might not have been open to before, new possibilities, new directions, and we can be guided by little things that people might say. And everybody has something beautiful to gift us and give to us. Everything that in life, when we're reading life like a book and we're studying life, it is teaching us from every single thing in our perception. So for this fourth, revolution, that really is what will get us through, and not just get us through, but I feel from my research and my insights that I can actually feel the feeling, the vibration, the sense of the possibility of where we're actually going, and it's extremely exciting. The advancements that are possible in so many different areas in this time. We can solve so many issues that we never have been able to solve before. It feels to me like it's going to be like night and day. That if we can trust all the potential that we have within ourselves, that we have everything that we need to move through this time of change. When we open ourselves up to possibility, then it can be just a new world, just beautiful. So again, it takes that conscious effort to be present in our present moment, and to choose to make a choice, because it is that, to move from that state of fear into a state of wonder. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be going around smiling and happy all the time, But it just means that when life is always ups and downs, I would say like surfing the wave, and I have my necklace here with the wave on it. We're always surfing, learning to surf the waves of life. And when we on a high, it's amazing. When we go on a low, yeah, we will just be curious again, still be curious and wonder, why is this happening? What's it trying to teach me? What do I need to release? What do I need to feel that I haven't felt? And like that, even that play that I had gone to see, it was very triggering for me, and it brought up a lot of old energy that I hadn't processed in myself, and I didn't want to feel it, and I was very uncomfortable during the whole play. But I knew that it was actually it was actually for me. It was actually for me to release that type of energy. And the next day, then when I felt that release, I I could actually empathize so much more with the people in the area, because I had connected back into a time in my life that was difficult, and that I felt lost, and that I had had hadn't had guidance, and but I always had that connection to my inner self that brought me through. And I thought to myself, it was really profound, because I thought, what would I be like, or what would life have been like for me if I hadn't that connection, that I always talk about, that I feel is always drawing me towards my destiny. If I hadn't had that, I always followed that like a candle or like a light. I just followed it throughout my life. And if I hadn't had that, I could have been just like the girl in that play, who had made difficult choices because she didn't have that inner vision. Yeah, so it really inspired me to talk more and teach more and do more in the world. And that's where that wonder comes in. You're inspired always in the areas that you were found most difficult. You want to go in and help in areas that were difficult for you. And if you needed guidance at a certain point in your life and that wasn't there, you can be that guide for somebody else. Now you get a chance to turn around and share your wisdom, share your knowledge, give of yourself to somebody else. And that brings so much beauty into the world. And that unfolds, humanity in a new way going forward into this fourth revolution. You know, how can we, again, I would think, evolve as a species? It's it's a possibility, and it's a potential for us to evolve ourselves during this time as well, to match and to keep up with technology. And I think that's exactly what's happening. It's putting a huge evolutionary tension on humanity to evolve in our consciousness to meet AI. So it is something that is unfolded in the present moment. So the teaching of I would love to leave you this week is just to be in that state of wonder, where you walk through life with a question mark in front of your in front of your perception. If you start to get worried, and you're just start to have a curiosity in your mind, a curious mind, curious and also grateful for what's been given to you. A sense of gratitude, a sense of wonder, with that gratitude, that life, to value your life, to value each second and each moment of your life, brings with it that sense of wonder, that where are you guiding me? How am I being guided? Where am I to serve in this new era? There's so many different places that people are needed to move into new positions. As positions are becoming obsolete, there's so many op, op, uh, options for new positions, and moving people around in positions and creating new positions. And at the moment in the college, I've come up with a new project for the students to work on Dublin Airport and the wayfinding system for Dublin Airport. So we are having a great time analyzing all that and, looking at how we can help people, older people and people with neurodivergent um, abilities, and people who have, anxiety and depression, and finding how can they find their way in a through an airport, an international, non-speak English speaking, to find their way through a busy airport. And one of the things we were saying is that, the new positions that could open up in airports, like if things are automated, we can have more people guiding, more people, human contact, human aids, that can help people, guide people. There's a lot more positions that can be opened up to improve our experience of living, an experience of being in the world. So as I would say, as computers and AI fill the gaps in areas that humans have, we could fill the gap in that empathy and that care for each other, and how we can have more time to be with people. Instead of just doing the automated work, we could do what we're best at, which is that being with each other. And that will really improve the quality of all of our lives, the quality of our existence. As I always say, the quality of our life is a reflection of the quality of our relationships. And building those connections with people, can be so beautiful. So it could be a beautiful experience traveling, where sometimes it can be stressful for people. So that's where AI can actually help us become better humans. Yeah. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope it'll give you something to think about. It might be thought provoking, and I would say to embrace it and see how it can work for you, but not to feel that it's ever going to be anything as close to the immense potential that you have within yourself that you maybe even haven't tapped into yet. Give you the opportunity to know yourself a little bit more. Okay, so I will leave you with that until next week, and I'll have another. I think we're going to talk about true success next week. Somebody had asked me about that. And I wish you a very, very happy Halloween, or spooky Halloween. I have a costume arriving actually tomorrow, I think, so I'm excited about that. There's a little bit of a party going on in our house with the kids, and yeah, they've been preparing, and Scott's been making his mask actually for the last 3 days, so it's looking really cool. He's yeah, so we're gonna have a bit of fun here on Thursday night. So I'll share some photos with you about that too. Okay, so have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday for our Tuesday chat. Bye.